Spring has sprung. Welcome to the Byte Reloaded, everybody. This is Mondays, March 20th, the first day of spring. I'm Ernest Bethea, the last outlaw. It's good to have everybody on. And yes, like I said, spring has sprung, which means today I bring you 7 stories that I would have normally posted in individual posts via Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. But today I decided, you know what? I'm going to take these 7 stories and I'm going to bring them to you all live and direct. But before I do that, I want to do a little bit of house cleaning. Next week, I plan on. I know many people have heard me say it, but I'm going to say it to you here. Next week, I plan on bringing 2 of the most important live Bethea's Byte Reloaded editions that I personally have brought to you all. Next week, at this very time, I will have my fellow compatriots, my cohorts, if you will, in the real true crime community. And we're going to sit down, we're going to discuss the dangers of fentanyl and methamphetamines and what we can do to save a life. And that's before my special Wednesday edition, where I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna talk to a mother who she lost a daughter. She lost a daughter, and the word she was given is that the daughter OD'd on fentanyl or methamphetamines, but she is not one to believe that. And we're gonna have her here. She's gonna tell her story, and we're gonna we're gonna get together. We're gonna get together, and we're gonna see what we can do to make sure this mother gets justice for her daughter. That's next week, Monday and Wednesday. Bethea's Byte Reloaded. Your home for news, opinions, debates, your voice, and justice served. But as promised, today is my Spring 7. So what I'm going to do with each story, if I have them, I will have photos to go with each story. I will be reading the article, and I'm going to let you have your take on it. And of course, I'm going to have my take on the whole thing too. So, without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share the first photo with you right now. And that is going to kick off with oh, now I see. All right. We're going to go to the window, and I'm going to put that right up there. And the photo you're looking at right now is a family of 3. This is the Matson family. Why am I posting this family of 3 up? Let me bring you the article related to it. A Minnesota couple and an adult son found fatally shot a day after the suspect was also found dead. A deadly shooting has claimed the lives of 3 Minnesota family members, and the suspect in the shooting has also been found dead. On March 5th, authorities responded to a wellness check on the Matson family in the Fish Lake Township, Minnesota. When they arrived at the scene, they found the bodies of 73-year-old Daryl Matson and 68-year-old Denise Matson, along with their 47-year-old son, Kirk. All 3 had been dead for at least 1 day. Authorities had discovered another body at a different location the previous day. They now believe that person is the suspect in the murders of the Matsons. Suspect's name and cause of death have not been released. Authorities have not disclosed the motive in the attack, but they believe that the killings were not random. It's unclear if police are looking at any other suspects in the murders. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is working with the Chicago County Sheriff's Office to investigate the violence. The murders have unsettled the quiet rural community about an hour north of St. Paul. They have a beautiful garden. They love to share fruits and vegetables with us. They were just real nice people, neighbor Chris Cochler tells reporters. It's nerve-wracking, uneasy. It's such a quiet community. Stuff like this doesn't happen up here. A GoFundMe page has been established to raise money for funeral expenses. The couple leaves behind 2 surviving adult children, Kent and Cammie. Their world as they knew it had come crashing down, family friend Stephanie Lang writes on the GoFundMe. Kent, Cammie, and their families are in a state of shock and trying to navigate through this thing called grief. In a statement, Chicago County Sheriff's Office expressed their sincere condolences to the Matson family and all those affected by this recent tragedy, and vowed that they would solve the crime. We recognize the need for answers and calls for justice when an incident like this occurs within our community, the sheriff wrote. We appreciate everyone's patience as we continue to investigate, and the members of this office will continue to work diligently towards finding those answers you seek. So basically, we have 4 bodies. We have 3 a family, mother, father, and adult son dead. And the 4th one is possibly the one who made good on the attack. And they're wondering that they're trying to figure out exactly if are the 4 related in some way. If that 4th body they found was the attacker or what have you. So I will give you when I get more details on this, I will surely bring that to you. But for right now, my sincere condolences go to Kent, Cammie, and the entire family for their losses. That's a rough thing to have to go through, losing your entire family like that. Let's see. What do we have next? Looking. Here we go. Okay, there's that. Okay, we are set for on our next story. All right, take a look at this gentleman here. This is Daniel Stearns. Daniel is accused of murder. Give me just a moment, we can break this down. Florida man accused of killing his girlfriend during an argument and burning the body in an attempt to hide evidence. Now a person is guilty if they're attempting to burn the body to hide evidence. I'm just saying. A Florida man is accused of fatally shooting his girlfriend during an argument and burning her body in an attempt to hide evidence connecting him to the crime, according to authorities. 32-year-old Daniel Stearns has been charged with second-degree murder with a firearm, mutilation of a dead body, and tampering with evidence in connection with the death of 44-year-old Nancy Howery. I'll take you to her photo. There she is. That's Nancy. The article continues to say 44-year-old Nancy Howery, who was reported missing on February 18th, and that's according to a press release from the Brevard County Sheriff's Office. I've been pronouncing that name for God knows how long. I don't know if I've been pronouncing it correctly or not. As of today, please let me know if I am. Howery's partial remains were located in a wooden area in Palm Bay known as the Compound, according to Sheriff Wayne Ivey during a March 10th news conference announcing Stearns' arrest. The grim discovery came after investigators surveilled Stearns and realized he had allegedly tried to bury a body in the compound after burning it. Howery, an Indian Harbor Beach resident, was reported missing by her ex-husband on February 18th, approximately 3 days after she failed to pick up her children from school. That's according to Police Chief David Butler. A missing persons investigation was launched, and detectives soon learned she was last seen on February 15th at a gun club in Palm Bay. She was reportedly hanging out with a friend who told investigators that Howery was supposed to meet her boyfriend, Stearns, later that day in Palm Bay. According to Police Chief Butler, Howery's Honda Odyssey was found abandoned on the side of a Palm Bay road on February 19th. With help from the Brevard County Sheriff's Office, an investigation quickly identified Stearns as a suspect. Howery began dating Stearns after they met on social media. Stearns was interviewed twice during the course of the investigation and allegedly showed significant areas of deception and truly identified himself as a suspect in the case. This week, the Sheriff's Office increased its monitoring of Stearns and amassed more than 50 hours of surveillance footage. Ultimately, the surveillance led us to here to the compound, and there are actually 5 different crime scenes, according to Ivy. Stearns was taken into custody after he was allegedly spotted trying to bury the body. Eventually, he allegedly confessed to the killing, Howery, and trying to dispose of her remains. Investigators told reporters they believe the couple was arguing when Stearns fatally shot Howery. Stearns is being held without bail at the Brevard County Jail. It is not immediately clear if he's entered a plea or retained an attorney who can speak on his behalf. Well, as far as I'm concerned, this guy's already got himself hung up. He's already confessed. Only thing he has to do now is take it to court, have him be found guilty, and put him behind bars. Or, as I normally say, put him under the prison. Listen, what argument really could have provoked someone to shoot somebody dead? Then again, who knows what lurks in the mind of some people. This one is tragic, and I have 2 people to blame for this. This one I have no picture for, but I do have the article. A 3-year-old Texas girl kills her 4-year-old sister accidentally after finding a loaded gun in the home. Now, just off that headline, it should be no surprise as to who I feel is responsible. But I'm going to read the article anyway and let you figure that out from there. A 3-year-old Texas girl picked up a loaded gun inside a Houston home and accidentally shot her 4-year-old sister to death. The two sisters were playing in a bedroom when the shooting occurred around 7:30 p.m. last Sunday. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez said to reporters at some point it appears that one parent thought the other parent was maybe watching the other children when in fact the two toddlers were left basically unsupervised inside the bedroom. Gonzalez says there were 5 adults in the home at the time of the incident. Really? 5 adults? So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 adults, 2 unsupervised toddlers, a loaded, yeah. Everybody, now think about this, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't even finished reading the article yet, but think about this. There are 5 adults in the house. There are 2 unsupervised toddlers, ages 3 and 4, and there's a loaded gun, unattended. Can you say recipe for disaster? The 3-year-old gained access to a loaded semi-automatic pistol, said Gonzalez. Family members heard a single gunshot and ran into the room and found the small toddler, 4 years old, on the floor, unresponsive. The Harris County Sheriff's Office said the girl was shot 1 time in the face. It appears to be unintentional. The girl died at the scene. It just seems like another tragic story of, again, a child gaining access to a firearm and hurting someone else. And this time, there was a fatal shot. All the adults in the home were detained. Police said they are investigating if the gun owner had properly stored the weapon or was negligent. Come on. I'm gonna run the math back by you again at the end of when I finish this. The community is impacted when a child loses their life in this way. This is very preventable. You've got to be sure when you're being a responsible gun owner, securing your weapons in a safe place. It's got to be more than just telling young kids not to touch the weapons. You know, we've got to do a little more. We see far too many tragic situations like this unfold. Ladies and gentlemen, let's run the math back one more time. Let's run the math back one more time. There are 5 adults in the house. There are 2 unsupervised toddlers in the house. One age 3, the other age 4. The 3-year-old somehow is able to pick up a loaded firearm, a loaded weapon, a loaded gun. And shoots her sister. 4 years old. 1 shot in the face. Of course, they're saying that it was unintentional. Yes, I believe that. But it still was preventable, wasn't it? You got 5 adults in the house, 2 unsupervised toddlers, and a loaded weapon. Had the weapon not been unattended, had the weapon have been secured, had the weapon have been put in storage, safe storage at that, I wouldn't even have to mention this story. But here we are, right? It said all the adults in the house were detained. Good. Now, if you were to ask me, who do I find responsible? I'll give you the easiest hint I can give, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the 3-year-old. It's not the 3-year-old. Why? What does a 3-year-old know about guns? What does a 4-year-old know about guns? Who do I hold responsible? Try every adult in the house. I'm just saying. Every single adult in the house is responsible. That's my story. And you can best believe I'm sticking to that. Next up. We had a case out of Arkansas. All right. We got a case out of the great state of Arkansas, and I actually not only do I have a picture, but I also have video to go with it. There we go. All right. Now here's the story. Arkansas teen told his mother that he was going out on a date. He was found shot to death in the forest days later. 3 days after being reported missing, an Arkansas teenager was found shot to death in a forest in Mississippi. According to the West Memphis Police Department and the Yolobusha County Sheriff's Department, the body of 18-year-old Fredarius Wilson was discovered in a remote area of Holly Springs National Forest not long after he was reported missing on March 5th. Fredarius' mother, Shirley Howell, told reporters she became concerned when he didn't come home that Sunday after telling her he was going on a date with a classmate. She said she later learned he'd ended up with someone else. My son didn't have any enemies, nor was he a troubled child. He worked, he went to school, and played his game. He was a pure mama's boy, she wrote on Facebook. Investigators tracked a signal from Fredarius' phone near the forest in Yolobusha County, but his body wasn't found until March 8 off County Road 243, when a U.S. Forest Service employee working in the area spotted it. That's according to a local news outlet. We searched the area for over 6 hours Tuesday night, but were unsuccessful. That's according to Sheriff Jermaine Gooch. The area is very remote, he continues. While authorities have not revealed Fredarius' cause or manner of death, Howell says she was informed her son was found with gunshot wounds. According to Howell, Fredarius was spotted on security footage with a woman at a McDonald's in West Memphis the night he was last seen. Law enforcement has not named a person of interest or made any arrests in the case. Sadly, it wasn't the outcome we wanted, Sheriff Gooch said. Our focus is on this investigation, making an arrest and providing answers and closure for his family. Our prayers go out to them. Fredarius was a senior at the Academies of West Memphis High School, which also put out a statement last week mourning his death, saying Fredarius would light up the classroom with his smile and his kindness and magnetic personality. And his magnetic personality garnered the adoration of staff and students alike. The statement continues that we offer our deepest condolences to his family, for we know that our continued support and strength for one another in this community will help us all get through this time of sorrow. The information right now that I'm waiting on is the cause and manner of death of Fredarius, but I am nowhere near through presenting this because, as I said, I do have video to share with you.
Here, right now, I'm outside of the Yallabusha Sheriff's Office, and the deputies have been looking for 18-year-old Fredarius Wilson. The Yallabusha coroner, Ronnie Starks, tells me that his body was identified on Wednesday morning after a U.S. Forest Service worker saw it while working. Wilson was found in the Holly Springs National Forest near County Road 243. He has been missing since March 5th. Strangely, Wilson is from the West Memphis area. It was told to us that his phone was last pinned in the Yallabusha County. The coroner says that the body was sent off to the crime lab, and that's all that we know at this time, and that this is still an ongoing investigation. And we will continue to keep you updated with the latest. Reporting in Yallabusha County, Chris Knowles, WTVA 9 News.
So there's where we are with that right now. I know there's more information to come, and when I get it, you will get it right here. Bethea's Byte Reloaded. So in the meantime, my condolences go out to the family of Fredarius Wilson. I hope and pray that they'll find peace and they'll get the closure, not just closure, but they'll get the justice that they're seeking. Next up, we have a shooting in Dallas. Authorities in Dallas are investigating the deaths of 2 men and 2 women at an apartment complex in Northwest Dallas on last Sunday. Officers from the Dallas Police Department, DPD from this point forward, arrived at the scene in the 3500 block of Villa Verde Avenue at about 7:10 p.m. That's according to DPD Public Information Officer Juan Fernandez telling the Associated Press. Once there, officers discovered the victims inside an apartment. All had gunshot wounds and were dead at the scene. Artemio Maldonado, age 18, and Azucena Sanchez, age 20, were later identified as suspects, according to a DPD news release. Police also found the suspect's vehicle. 2 hours later, located about a mile west of the shooting. Maldonado and Sanchez were arrested and booked at the Dallas County Jail on charges of capital murder. DPD is currently investigating the incident, which was reported as had taken place at the Arlo Apartments, and has released limited information. A spokesman with the department said that more details would be released later Monday, which I'm gonna have to go back and find out if there's any further information in this. A spokesman for DPD did not immediately return a request for additional information. In January, 3 people were killed and 2 others injured in a shooting at another North Dallas apartment complex. Police officers discovered the tragic scene after responding to reports of a shooting at the Landmark Valley Apartments around 4:30 a.m. on January 6th. Now, I'm not totally sure if those shootings are related, but we'll know more as that information becomes available.
Let's get you out to breaking news anchor Megan Mitchell following breaking news in Northwest Dallas. Hi, Megan.
Yeah, hi, Kara. And this morning, it is a very quiet scene here, but hours ago, this was very busy, an extensive scene, a lot of investigating being done, and that's because police are confirming that 4 people were killed in this apartment here in Northwest Dallas, and right now, the good thing is that they are also confirming with us that there's no immediate threat to the public at this time. So officers were called to the scene right here on Marsh and Villa Verde Avenue. This is near Forest Lane. Near this hour, a spokesperson actually confirming from DPD that the 4 victims were shot Authorities have not yet confirmed if a suspect is in custody or if any of the victims are potential suspects here, but the investigation is ongoing. Once again, police saying that there's no immediate threat to the public at this time. We're working to learn more details as the morning goes on, so we'll keep you updated on those here in WFAA. Back to you guys.
And as they're looking to get more information, as I am too, and when they get it, they'll broadcast it to their local stations, and I will bring it to you as soon as I can get it. And for now, as far as the families of the 4 victims, I pray that they get the justice they are seeking. Let's see what do we have next. Oh yeah. All right. Take a look at the gentleman on your screen, because we're trying to figure out whether this guy is whether he's the good guy or the bad guy. You be the judge. Headline: a Minnesota man allegedly killed a sex offender using a moose antler. A Minnesota man who allegedly confessed to the brutal bludgeoning death of a convicted sex offender has been charged with second-degree murder, according to authorities. According to court documents, Levi Axtell was covered in blood when he turned himself into police in Grand Marais, Minnesota on Wednesday. It's unclear if he's entered a plea to the charge. Axtell's defense attorney, Dennis Shaw, was not immediately available for comment. Authorities say the 27-year-old Axtell allegedly arrived at the police station and admitted to driving to the home of a 77-year-old man, entering the victim's residence, and hitting him over the head 15 to 20 times with a spade-style shovel that he allegedly found on his front porch. The documents state that Axtell allegedly said he finished him off by striking him on the head with several times with a large moose antler. While the documents refer to the victim as LVS, the Minnesota Star Tribune identified him as Lawrence V. Scully. Citing Cook County Sheriff Pat Eliason, reports say Scully was convicted of sexual assault of a 6-year-old girl in 1979. In 1982, he was released from prison. Court documents state Axtell believes Scully had sexually offended children in the past and observed him parked in his vehicle at locations where children were present and believed he would reoffend. According to the Star Tribune, Axtell is the nephew of former St. Paul Police Chief Todd Axtell. I love my nephew and my entire family, a family that has been deeply impacted by this heartbreaking incident, he said to reporters. I'm also thinking about the amazing Grand Marais community during this difficult time. I have always believed in and supported the criminal justice system, a system that will now do what it's designed to do. Levi Axtell remains jailed on $1 million bond. He will reappear in court on April 10th. Now, I know some of you may be of the belief, yeah, this guy did the right thing. He did a lot of us a favor. He did the entire community a favor. And you might be right about that to a degree. But also, you got to remember that taking the law into your own hands is not necessarily the best idea in the world either. So he might be applauded, but there's certain things he shouldn't have done. we'll discuss that at a later date. I've got one last story left. And that is a kidnapping. Yes. Here we go. Got his picture up. Now let's see if I can share this. Okay, there's our guy for this last story. And I'm going to pull the article up. And here we go. A Texas man allegedly imprisons a woman inside home before she called for help when he left for work. A Texas man charged with kidnapping last week after allegedly imprisoning a woman inside a Houston area trailer home. A 32-year-old woman allegedly called police for help after Abraham Bravo Zagura went to work, according to reporters. When officers arrived, a female stated through a window she could not get out of the home as the door was locked from the outside. That's according to Harris County Sheriff's Office Senior Deputy Thomas L. Gilliland. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, please let me know. The senior deputy says the trailer home had burglar bars on the windows and a padlock was attached to the front door. According to a probable cause order, all the exits to the trailer were locked and the fire department had to use power tools to cut through the burglar bars just to gain access. 3 guns were found inside, according to that probable cause order. The woman alleged she has been in a dating relationship with Zagura for 4 years, according to the senior deputy. She was able to walk around in the home, but could only leave with the defendant only. She told deputies he would threaten her if she tried to leave the home. No real time frame has been established as to how long this has been going on. Some witnesses claim they have seen her outside the home on many occasions. Segura, age 42, was arrested last Wednesday and charged with 1 count of kidnapping. He is being held on a $180,000 bond. It was not immediately clear if he has entered a plea or retained an attorney to comment on his behalf. The senior deputy said the woman is currently staying in a women's shelter. Segura's attorney, Brennan Dunn, believes his client will be exonerated. He says, "I've spoken to my client and have the utmost confidence that more evidence currently being investigated will result in exoneration of Mr. Segura." He also said, "I look forward to, yet again, proving that the state, in an effort to curry public favor, moved too quickly to charge my client without having vital information." So that is where the article has it. Now, I'm going to share this video from the news report with you, and then I'm gonna state my piece on that. So hang on.
All right, Matthew, see you tonight.
1 second, guys. Yeah.
All right, Matthew, see you tonight. Now to this news alert. The man on your screen is being charged for holding a woman captive inside a locked trailer for almost 4 years. 42-year-old Abraham Bravo Segura appeared in court yesterday for charges of kidnapping. Prosecutors say Segura kept a woman in a North Harris County trailer that had all exits locked and the windows were barred. Segura remains in jail tonight on a $150,000 bond and is set to reappear in court sometime next week.
Well, there you have that, ladies and gentlemen. Now we just wait to see whether that evidence hold up, or whether Abraham Bravo Segura will even face any of these kidnapping charges that he's already facing at the moment. If he is, I would love to see him get locked up for it. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's the spring 7. Now, before I go, I'm gonna hit you guys up with a few public service announcements that I've been working on, and I know I'm gonna have a lot more coming. But I'm gonna let you see them all first. You may have seen versions of them. You may have seen versions of them in certain news stories, and there may be a couple I haven't shown yet. But you can bet with each story that I start telling from here on, we'll have these videos a part of it. So I'm gonna begin with I'm gonna start with one that relates to a story that I just got finished telling moments ago. And this is something that all these PSAs are of vital importance, because it's my way of telling everybody, please be careful, because you never know what may happen. You never know when it can happen, or who it can happen to you. First off, remember the story I just got finished telling you about with the 3-year-old shooting the 4-year-old with 5 adults in the house? Think about this. Parents, let's be smart about protecting our kids from the dangers of firearms. For more information on safe firearm storage and effective ways to protect children from unsecured firearms, visit www.besmartforkids.org. Again, that address is www.besmartforkids.org. Firearms are one of the leading causes of deaths in children, especially when they're not secured properly, when they're not when the child is neglected, they're not supervised, they're not watched, and each time that happens, not only does families in the community suffer, but lives are lost. We just seen and read proof of that in that story with the 3-year-old. 5 adults in the house. A 3-year-old able to pick up a loaded gun and unintentionally, mind you, shoots 4-year-old sister. Like I said, we have to be smart, and I'm not using the name of the organization, but we have to be smart when it comes to kids and firearms. Another thing we have to be smart about is child abuse and child neglect. And I've had a number of stories here where a child has been abused to the point of the so-called parents hurts them severely or kills them. So if you know someone who is let's see who we got in here. I thought I would have had a visitor. If you know someone who may suspect child abuse or anything of the sort, pay attention to this quick PSA. No child deserves to be abused. If you or someone you know suspects child abuse or neglect, you are urged to call the Child Help National Child Abuse Hotline at 1-800-4A-CHILD. That's 1-800-422-4453. Or go to www.childhelp.org. All calls are toll-free and confidential. The hotline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in more than 170 languages. That number again is 1-800-4A-CHILD, 1-800-422-4453, or go to www.childhelp.org. Now, that is definitely important. I've always said that we have to do a better job of protecting our kids. That's one way to do it. Now, from the kids to the adults, ladies, you are not above and beyond being protected yourselves. So we know that there have been cases of sexual abuse, but yet there are situations where you're too scared to just talk to anyone. I want you to pay attention to this particular PSA, and maybe you can gather the strength to let somebody know just what's going on. Sexual abuse is absolutely any form of undesired sexual behavior, period. It's in the high-profile cases you hear about in the news, and in the quiet sexual encounter with someone you thought you trusted. If you or someone you know has been a victim of sexual abuse, you are not alone. Text the word STRENGTH, STRENGTH, to the crisis text line at 741-741 to be connected to a certified crisis counselor. Again, text the word STRENGTH to 741-741. The bottom line is you want to talk to somebody. And it's not just flat out sexual abuse. We're talking sexual assault. We're talking rape, and I'm making no holds barred of this stuff, because I don't handle these cases with kid gloves. So if you or somebody you know has been a victim, you have the crisis text line, and you have this group. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, there is hope. I urge you to contact the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE. That's 1-800-656-4673. Or go to www.rainn.org. All calls are toll-free and confidential. The hotline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in more than 170 languages. Again, that number is 656-HOPE or go to www.rain.org. These are ways to protect yourself, ladies. And if it's to the point of domestic violence, ladies and gentlemen too, you don't have to be a statistic. Listen to this. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, you do not have to become a statistic. Help is available. I urge you to call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 or go to www.thehotline.org. All calls are toll-free and confidential. The hotline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in more than 170 languages. Again, that number is 1-800-799-7233 or go to thehotline.org. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's 5 PSAs. I may have more coming. Depending on the story and depending on the situation. But again, like I've been saying in a lot of the PSAs, there is hope. Help is available. You don't have to be a statistic, and you don't have to think you're alone in this. You have several different contacts, and I will be posting each of these PSAs onto my YouTube page, and you'll get all that information as far as following the Fans Byte Reloaded and all that at the end of the video. But bottom line, you will have all this information, and you can protect yourself. You can protect your kids, keeping them and you safe. That's always been my biggest priority here at the Fans Byte Reloaded. I give you the information to make sure you guys know how to protect yourself, know how to be safe, stay safe. And if they reach my side hustle, that's the point where I get to call the monsters out. That's my fun time. I get to call out the monsters and enjoy doing it. But pretty much that's my spring 7. Those 7 stories, and wherever with each one, if I have any further information to pass on to you, I will do just that. And I thank you for joining me. I thank you for all the love and all the support. I will remind you once again, come next week, I ask you all to be here, 2 o'clock Pacific time. I am dealing on Monday and Wednesday of next week. I will be giving 2 of what I consider the most important the Fans Byte Reloaded editions I have ever done. Next Monday, I will be talking with everyone associated in the true crime community. We're gonna have an open panel discussion on the dangers of methamphetamines and fentanyl. The Wednesday after that, I will talk to a mother who is seeking justice for her adopted daughter. She is looking to get the justice she is way overdue as far as what really happened with her daughter, how was she killed, and who is exactly responsible. The word she originally got was that her daughter had passed on from methamphetamine or fentanyl overdose. This mother is not believing that, and I'll be sitting right here and I want to get her story. And I will get have my cohorts in true crime listening to her story, especially those who have been following her case from the beginning. So that's next week. Bethea's Byte Reloaded, your home for news, opinions, debates, your voice, and justice served. And that's what we will be looking for, seeking justice for that young lady. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. Without you, this thing doesn't run. So until next week, again, let's be like they used to say on an old TV show called Hill Street Blues. Let's be careful out there, okay? I love you all. I'll be back next week. Until then, you all know what to do. Bite this. Hey guys, this is The Last Outlaw. I send you all a million thank yous for all the love and support of Bethea's Byte Reloaded. I know I've said this before, but it bears being repeated. Without you, this channel does not run. So again, a million times over, I thank you. I'd like you to do something for me. If you enjoyed this video, or you want to give your feedback on anything that was discussed or shown, I'd like you to do the following. Give the video a like. It helps to get the information out to everyone who may have information leading to getting justice for the victims and or bringing the missing home safe. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and let's join in this fight together. Be sure to hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified of future videos, live and pre-recorded. The real game changer is when you click the share button. Send this and videos like it all over your social media. The more eyes and ears on this channel, the better the chances of getting justice for the families of the victims and bringing the missing home. Of course you're going to have your say as well, so be sure to drop a comment. I just ask you to keep it clean and civil. Remember, we are about getting justice, not arguing over who's right or wrong in a debate. Don't forget to follow Bethea's Byte Reloaded all over social media. On Facebook, at Bethea's Byte Reloaded TC. On Twitter, at EKB316. On YouTube, at Bethea's Byte Reloaded, with and without the punctuation marks. On Instagram, at EB The Last Outlaw. On TikTok, at King of Hearts 316 2021. Email me at kingofhearts316_09 at outlook.com. Hit me up on the message forum at www.betheasbyte.com. This is your home for news, opinions, debates, your voice, and justice served. This is Bethea's Byte, and it's reloaded.